get ready to fight from within. You're about to go behind enemy lines on WNJC.
Roger, 3-2. Goliath copies all. Go ahead. Target is surrounded by multiple firms entering what appears to be a residential area. Requesting permission to engage.
From the People's Republic of New York City, you're now going behind enemy lines with Gene Baradelli and Russ Gallo.
And you are now behind enemy lines. Hey there, how you doing, America? Gene Baradelli here with you, flying solo tonight. Got a great show for you. If you are an anti-Hillary fan, boy, do we have a show for you. We have the executive director of the Stop Hillary PAC, Colorado State Senator Pat Harvey. He was term limited out and decided he needed to do some more service for our country. And what better way to do that than to try to stop Hillary from becoming the next president of the United States? And, of course, we have the return of Andre Walker and his weekly monologue, and we're going to be dissecting a few things here and there as the show goes on. Dare I say, you might even hear me, for the first time ever in the history of this here show, actually agree with MSNBC. I know it's shocking. We're going to get to it right now. Folks, you think we got trouble on the Republican side when we talk about our potential nominees. You think that we have a showdown coming up, between Donald Trump and Ted Cruz, John Kasich you throw in there as well, I guess. And you know what? It may well be coming down the pipe that we may be looking at a convention battle. Who knows at this point? I mean, it's pretty much anybody's guess what's going to be happening here. I really don't think we're going to be having a nominee at this point with a clear majority of 1,237 delegates. Put me down on record right now, folks. I think we're going to a contested convention. And if you want to go on record yourself, go to goonrecord.com. That's what we do here on the show. Whenever we put something down on record, we want to make sure it's crystal clear and transparent to everybody. We go to goonrecord.com, brand new social media site out there. Put down what you think, what you believe in, what you stand for, and it's up there, can't be changed later on, and you subject yourself to either the laurels or the scrutiny of the general public. So goonrecord.com, check it out. I'm on record right now, and I'm going to go to goonrecord.com and say, you know what? Contested convention coming our way. But that's a discussion for another day. We've been talking about Ted Cruz and Donald Trump and, different primaries. Of course, the controversy now about different state rules for delegate choosing and what happens after what round of voting and all that. Yeah, we know what we got to deal with on our side. But if I was a Democrat right now, watching this election unfold, and I see what's been going on in the news right now, I gotta tell you, folks, I am irate. I am flat out flabbergasted. I am angry beyond any anger I could see coming from the Republicans, because while you may think that certain rules in certain states on the Republican side of the primary system are arcane, bad, whatever the case may be, whatever you want to say it is nothing compared to what we're seeing from the out-and-out vote theft. I'm saying it. Vote theft that we are seeing from the Democratic side and Democratic primary. How can a person win 8 primaries out of the last 9 contests, whether they're winner-take-all, proportional, caucusing, whatever it is? How could that person win 8 of 9 states and lose the delegate count in states. I don't understand how that works. You want to talk about voter disenfranchisement? You want to talk about voter frustration? It's all on the Democrat side right now, folks. Yes, I can understand people being upset with a system where a state committee has a state convention and selects state delegates for a party system. I can understand the frustration there. You're not letting voters vote. But how about letting voters vote and then discarding the votes and basically creating a system where it doesn't really matter? And by the way, folks, it's not me saying it. It's the folks on MSDNC. Excuse me. I mean, the folks on MSNBS. I mean, I keep doing that. It's the folks on MSNBC saying it. Let me tell you, it's got to be bad when the folks over at the Democrat Apology Network, MSNBC, my voice is cracking thinking about it, are going on TV and openly bashing, not only bashing, wrecking the DNC system. You don't believe me? Take a listen to this exchange from Morning Joe, and you tell me what you think later on in the chat room.
Bernie Sanders' winning streak continued over the weekend with a victory in the Wyoming caucuses on Saturday. Sanders beat Hillary Clinton by 12 points, 56-44, notching his 8th win in the last 9 nominating contests.
Okay, what do we do here?
I mean, it sounds like he's winning.
He's won 8 out of 9.
Yep.
But he's losing.
And look, he wins by 12 points. I tell you, I would not do well as a Democratic politician. He wins by 12 points. He may not even pick up a single delegate.
Yeah.
It's 7-6 now, with a remaining delegate to be decided later. I'm sorry. That's a crushing victory.
I know. And listen, I think that with the super delegates that they have, I think she only has to win 30% of the, she only has to get 30% of the vote in the remaining contest. I mean, talk about voters feeling like a system might be rigged.
Why are you even voting?
If you're driving
Right.
in a car right now, we've been talking about rigged systems. We're putting up right now a graphic. Bernie Sanders wins 56-44% in Wyoming. The delegates rewarded: Hillary Clinton 11, Bernie Sanders 7. Why does the Democratic Party even have voting booths?
No, why?
This system is so rigged.
They have voting booths because the dead people got to go somewhere when they go vote, right? Yes, that's Joe Scarborough saying the system is rigged. Let's just encapsulate this for a second. They're using Wyoming as the example, because that's the most recent primary. The 8th in the last 9th that Bernie Sanders has won in the Democratic primary system, but it doesn't matter. Bernie Sanders has been winning races west of the Mississippi, as we've all seen. And he's winning big. As they said, 12%. A big win by any measure over Hillary Clinton. And yet, not only does he not get the majority of the delegates that you can win proportionally, he gets blown out in the delegate count, 11-6. At this point, what does it matter, Democrats, if you even bother to show up to vote in your primary? Say this for the Republican Party. The system is set up as fairly as you can think a political system be set up. You vote, you proportion the delegates pursuant to however your state does it. And then you have a winner and a loser. And normally, and I say this with a little grain of salt, normally the guy who gets the most votes gets the most delegates. Of course, we'll see what happens at the convention as to where those delegates have to be pledged to, what round, and all that other stuff. But at least you earn delegates for that first round of voting. And they're yours, because you earned them. But no. That's not what happens with the DNC. See, the DNC has something called superdelegates. These are people who are unpledged and are not bound to do anything that any voter says. They're your Congress people, your senators, your higher-ups in the parties, your political 1%, if you will. That's the type of person that is more inclined to vote for Hillary Clinton. And the facts bear us out. She has pledged to her, unofficially, over 450 superdelegates. And then you add into the system the way that the voting happens. And you have a proportional system where Hillary Clinton is killing him being Bernie Sanders, in the delegate count. I'm shocked by this system. I think, the Democrats are supposed to be the land of one person, one vote, even if they're not a citizen. One person, one vote, even if they don't have ID. One person, one vote, even if they're not living. And yet, in their primary system, it's one person votes, but to hell with your vote, we're going to pick the delegates anyway. And I'm even more shocked that the folks on Morning Joe, Joe Scarborough and Mika Theda, whatever her name is, I can't even pronounce it, are legitimately upset by this scheme. And make no mistake, folks, this is a voter rigging scheme. Let's continue to listen. I can't believe I'm saying this, but let's continue to listen to what happened on Morning Joe.
It feels that way, and I think if they fall into line better than our voters do, but I can see some of the same emotions boiling over at their convention.
But we always talk about voter turnout and how important it is to do your duty as a citizen. There's absolutely no reason any of those people voted in any of those states, right?
What's the justification?
Please, someone tell me.
These are the rules.
No, that's not a good answer. Tell me why those
rigged.
people needed to go vote, because their votes
rigged.
don't matter.
Turned out it's not rigged.
Do their votes
rigged.
matter, Mark
Yeah,
Halpern?
they do. The votes matter.
Do they count in some
Depends
way?
on where you turn out.
How?
I don't think it's a
only
good
in
system.
some parts of the country
I don't think
it matters?
it's a good system, but it's
He
not like...
won by 12 percentage
Why is he
points
defending
and
the system?
lost the delegate
I don't think it's a
count.
good system. All I'm saying is it's not
Do you
like
think
the
it
Clinton
changes?
people.
Can I ask you, do you
don't
think that the Democrats and
matter.
Republicans change their delegate allotment processes after this cycle?
Only if the winner of the White House decides he or she wants to change it, which is unlikely. These are the rules.
I don't really
all I'm saying is
that's
it's
not what
not
we're
like
asking.
the Cruz people or the Clinton people have gone in and fixed it or rigged it.
Those are the rules, and since those are the rules, and rules are rules, and we got to follow the rules, then the rules matter. And let me give full disclosure here, folks. I've used this kind of argument when talking to people about Ted Cruz and the system in Colorado, whereby the state committee and the state convention picks the delegates from that state, and they vote accordingly. Saying that them's the rules in that situation is a lot different than saying, well, everybody can go vote, and then the delegates will fall as they may, pursuant to the party rules and not pursuant to how the vote turned out. That's a totally different thing. But those are the rules. Mark Halpern going on TV with a straight face, basically saying, tough you know what, Bernie Sanders. These are the rules that you got into with, and these are the rules we got to stick with, and so sorry, even though you're winning race after race after race after race. 8 of the last 9 as we come into the People's Republic of New York. But too bad, man. Them's the breaks and you can't win. And I just can't help to think, whatever happened to the concept of a vote mattering? Our right to vote, one of the most fundamental rights that we have, is the great equalizer, or at least it should be the great equalizer in our society. I have the power to nullify the vote of Donald Trump in the People's Republic of New York. He can vote one way, I can vote the other way. Doesn't matter where I came from, doesn't matter where he came from. But since I'm registered to vote just like he is, we're equal. When we walk into that polling booth and we mark our choice, whether it's through the machine, through filling in an oval, pulling a lever, punching out a Chad, whatever it is. The point being is, our vote is supposed to matter. Even if it's a party election, let's make a clear distinction between general elections for public office and party elections for nominees and party positions. When you are dealing with such races, you have to realize that, yes, no matter what system you're going into, it's rigged. It's just like Vegas and Atlantic City, folks. The house always wins, because they're the ones that have set the rules. If you want to play in the house, if you want to play in the RNC house, Mr. Trump, you have to know the rules and be able to navigate them. Otherwise, those who do know the rules that you don't know will crush you. And to some extent, that's part of a litmus test of being a presidential nominee.